pre-ordered Battlefield Hardline or purchased the deluxe edition, you were lucky enough, or maybe in a better word might be privileged enough, to be given 2 operator weapons not available to those who just bought the standard version. These weapons are the Battlefield Classic ACW-R and the CAR 556, which is basically the Ace-23. In fact, I'm pretty sure the assignments read as Galil Ace-23, so I'm not sure why the name discrepancy is there in the loadout menu, but I digress. What's happening, guys? My name is Grizno, and I am here to give you all the rundown on both of these weapons and examine just how they stack up against each other. When I'm done, hopefully you'll be able to make an informed decision on which one you think will suit your needs better. Welcome to Hardline Head-To-Head. Now, I will be showing each weapon's statistic charts from Simfic.com individually later, but I've also created a nice little comparison chart for each weapon, and I'm not going to include it in the video because it's kind of big and it would probably block out most of the gameplay, sorry. But if you'd like to pause the video now and bring that up, there's a link in the description, and I'll give you a second to do that right now. Got it? Alright, here we go. So perhaps the most glaring differences between the 2 weapons are the magazine sizes, reload times, and muzzle velocity. Depending on which of these characteristics you prefer, either weapon looks like it is a viable choice. So let's drill down a little deeper into each weapon and figure out which one comes out on top. Beginning with the CAR 556, it does a maximum damage of 25 and a minimum of 18, firing at a rate of 700 rounds per minute. Magazine size is 40, plus 1 in the chamber for 41 total, and the reload times are 3.67 seconds when empty, and 2.4 seconds with a round still in the chamber. Muzzle velocity is 620 meters per second, and the recoil lands somewhere in the medium to low area. To hit the high points, the CAR 556's best feature has to be its handling. The recoil is fairly low and it's super easy to control, which makes the CAR 556 very easy to use for a beginner. It also has the second largest magazine in the operator class, losing out only to the ARM. However, you will need to complete the Operator Syndicate assignment to unlock the ARM for purchase, which will certainly take some time. So in essence, the CAR 556 here will be the weapon with the largest magazine in the operator class for quite some time. But I have a bone to pick with the CAR 556 when it comes to the damage drop-off. Although the 556 and the ACW-R seemingly have the same damage model, they are actually pretty different, and the evidence is in the distance at which damage begins to drop off. The CAR 556 is only capable of doing its max damage within 8 meters. Compare that to the ACW-R's 25 meters, and it is easy to see which one is superior as far as effectiveness at different ranges goes. In layman's terms, the CAR 556 definitely loses out to the ACW-R in damage, as the ACW-R can do its max damage at much longer range. So now that we've established the fact that the CAR 556 can only do max damage in close, the next step would be to examine how it performs in close quarters. And I'm sorry to say, this weapon won't be winning any awards here either. It isn't terrible, just so you all know. I'm not 100% CAR bashing, but I can't say I prefer it to a lot of the other weapons available for the operator class. My reasons are simple. The CAR 556 does not have the swiftest reloads, and the bullet spread when firing from the hip is awful. In intense close quarter situations, I personally like a weapon that I can rely on from the hip for desperate times, and one that I can also reload quickly when I'm faced with multiple enemies at a time. Unfortunately, CAR 556 has neither of those. But I don't want to completely paint the CAR in a bad light. Like I said before, it's a great weapon at the start, especially for a beginner, as it does have decently low recoil. I'd even go as far as to say it would be better to start with this weapon if you are completely new to Battlefield, because you'll be able to learn how to counter recoil and utilize burst firing fairly easily with the CAR 556. You get the hang of it right away, actually. There are a couple other redeeming qualities I should also mention. At 700 rounds per minute, the CAR 556's rate of fire is right in that comfy middle area. In addition, the bullet velocity is on the high end, and it actually blows the ACW-R's bullet velocity right out of the water. This is where that delicate balance comes in. ACW-R does have better range damage-wise, but the CAR, despite the short drop-off distance, is actually more accurate and steady at range. So you might find it slightly easier to land those shots at distance with the CAR 5.56, especially when aiming down sight. And would you look at that, right on time with the transition. That couldn't have worked out any better. Let's look at the ACWR. This guy does a maximum damage of 25 and a minimum of 15 and fires at a rate of 800 rounds per minute. Magazine size is 30 plus 1 in the chamber for 31 total, and the reload times are 2.2 seconds when empty and 2 seconds flat with the rounds still in the chamber. Muzzle velocity is 500 meters per second, and the recoil I'm going to put in the medium range. The ACWR obviously beats the CAR 5.56 in rate of fire and reload times, meaning it's going to be much more effective in close quarters combat. The ACWR does lose out to the CAR 5.56 in muzzle velocity, so you do have to lead your shots a bit more at distance, as well as combat the slightly higher, or let's call it more advanced, recoil. The ACWR specializes in a couple of things. First of all, being a close quarters beast. Sticking with tradition, ACWR always has been a beast in close quarters, and nothing changes in Battlefield Hardline. It features a high rate of fire at 800 rounds per minute. I much prefer the ACWR to the CAR 5.56 in game modes like Blood Money and Heist, depending on the map, of course, and basically all close quarters situations. The ACWR fires faster, reloads faster, and does more damage at a longer range, as I was talking about earlier. And as the cherry on top of all of this is the fact that the ACWR has a much tighter spread from the hip, making it far more reliable for those desperate measures as well. However, the ACWR is a more advanced weapon for a more experienced player, I guess, in my opinion. While it does have fantastic features like the reload times and the damage drop-off distance of 25 meters, the recoil is definitely harder to control, and it's not as stable as the CAR 5.56 at longer ranges. That being said, if you can learn how to control the recoil, the ACWR, I think it's the superior choice. You have a much wider range of effectiveness, being able to do your full 25 damage up to 25 meters, and because of this, I think you'll find a lot more success with it. You should notice your scores getting better and better as you get more comfortable with it, and unlock more attachments, I guess. So there you have it. I guess I just gave it away. The winner, the ACWR. I'm picking this guy as the clear winner here. Sure, it's a little harder to handle, but for a Battlefield veteran like myself, and I'm sure a lot of you guys, that was terrible English, Griz. Terrible grammar. I'm sure you guys as well will agree with me. It's the rewards of learning to use this weapon far outweigh the ease of use offered by the CAR 5.56. As I mentioned before, if you're completely new to the Battlefield series, then maybe the CAR might be a better option for you to start out with. But the ACWR, in my opinion, clearly the superior weapon. So let me know what weapon you guys think is better. If I made any omissions or mistakes, let me know. I always appreciate the comments, I always appreciate the feedback. Hope you enjoyed this edition of Hardline Head-To-Head. My name is Grizno, and if you'd like to support the video, if you'd like to show it some love, definitely hit that like button on your way out. I certainly appreciate it. And if you're new around the channel, then love to have you, guy. Subscribe! My name is Griz, and I'll see you next time. Peace.